Good morning, friends. This is intermittent fasting part two. We were talking about intermittent fasting yesterday, and we were saying, I think Melanie said actually that we do it for different reasons. And we've been chatting about our different reasons. And for me, I started getting kind of lightheaded. So I stopped doing more than 12 hours, but my weight is just going up a little bit. So, and I'm not feeling good about that. And I felt better when my body was in a fasting state. So I was trying to figure out what could I do? I started stretching that time out a little bit more. And I think I remember, don't quote me, that Jen Stevens said for weight loss, it's more like an 18 hours, nope, 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. So like 11 to 7 might be your window. So I think I'm going to try it, at least try to stretch it out to maybe 10 or 11, but I'm also going to carry some protein snacks with me, some nuts, some cheese, some water, because I certainly don't want to pass out anywhere if I'm not at home. I actually find it's easier if I'm at home. Last couple of days, I hit 11, no problem. It's when I'm out doing things, I think, and then all of a sudden I'm like, and maybe it's an anxiety thing. Like I feel like lightheaded. I don't have any food, so maybe it is. Maybe it's more of an anxiety. But either way, I really want to get back to the 16-8 so that because I'm tired of this weight, it just feels bad and it affects everything. And I'm just tired of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were sharing that both of us are feeling that. My weight's up too, but I don't know. I mean, I was doing I guess I was doing 12 hours. I was pretty close to it. I don't know though, because I eat breakfast kind of early on the days that I work. But the thing that makes a difference for me is my greens. When I start my day with greens and protein and then have my greens again with dinner, that makes a difference. Part of that for me is just that I like to eat. So having the big salad or like a lot of veggies and greens helps me to not eat quite as much of the stuff that I shouldn't eat. Although I've shared before, I can eat even when I'm not hungry, and that's a problem too. So that's just I just like to eat, folks. So there is that whole, just figuring out what I can do and still I don't deprive myself for sure, even when I'm eating well. I'm not deprived. But that doesn't mean that I need to eat just for the sake of eating. Sometimes that is in my world. Just saying.
I mean, it's hard. When the food's there, we want to eat it. So, yep. And I had a friend say that to me the other day because she's struggling with her weight. And she said, but I feel like God wants us to have joy. And when I think of dieting or whatever, it doesn't feel joyful. And dieting is not joyful because it's all about deprivation.
Mhm.
So I get that. And God does, He gave us all this really good food to eat. The problem is there's all this other stuff that's not really good to eat, but we crave it because it's got the fats and sugars and salt and all the good stuff. And we've lost our flavor, our taste buds maybe for like an apple or really good food that God did give us. But he did. I mean, if you look around at natural food, there's a lot of variety.
Yep.
I just read about spices the other day. In fact, we talked about that, spicing your food. Like, yeah, it's a different mindset, I think. And
Well,
yeah,
I don't necessarily need all the junk. I love vegetables and I love all of that. But I still can overeat like calories. If I'm sedentary, I still don't need to be eating, even if it's vegetables. Like it just doesn't need to happen. So, I mean I like my veggies and my lean protein. Like I love those. I don't feel like that's dieting and being deprived.
well,
So
that's good. And I think the more we eat those, the more we do crave them. I never used to crave vegetables, and now I actually do.
yeah.
I don't have a salad, or I like. I just really want a salad. I want a salad. I
Yeah.
need it, but I also want it. And yeah, I just made a bunch of Brussels sprouts and broccoli salad the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this tastes so good." And Scott walked in, he's like, "Oh, the house smells so good because Brussels sprouts, man, in the oven."
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I have to actually stop myself from eating the whole tray
See
because
what
my
I'm saying?
stomach will
That's
like cramp and feel not so good. I'm like, oh, okay, but I could just literally stand there and eat the whole thing. So yeah,
that's
I'll
what
find
I'm
things
talking
you
about.
like. I hear you. Anyway,
Yeah.
if you have any like things that you do that work, habits that you've built in that you're like, now I don't even think about it, I just do the thing. We would love to know what that is because we are struggling with weight. And
Yeah.
the older I get, the worse it is. And I've had, I don't know how many friends in the last week who said, Dad, I just can't, I'm just struggling. And one just is a little over 40 and she goes, I never believed that, but my body is just shifting. Everything's changing. And I just don't feel good about myself. And I'm like, I am with you.
Well,
So,
and a lot of that is hormonal, especially,
yep.
as we're going through that time. But darn, I had a thought. It went away. But oh, I know. I was going to say, I think the fact that our weather's been kind of funky too for both of us, probably all of us. Um, I do think that that's when I'm not feeling my best mentally, it's hard for me to manage my weight the way I want to. So, maybe some of you are feeling that way too. And, it's a season. That's what I keep trying to tell myself. It's a season. My season's getting long now, and I'm not happy about the long season. So I do need to make some changes. So that's why we were, offering the intermittent fasting and veggies. But yeah, as Deb said, we would love to know what your,
Please share.
what even if it's a struggle. I mean, we can talk about that too, and maybe come up with some ideas that we can all work with. But if you've created habits that you don't struggle with this, we really would like to know.
Please share. Yes, please share with us.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.